Hello, this is Tiarra Earls, co-host of the Goddess Vibration podcast, and this is Tarot Truths, Things You Need to Know. This entire video is geared towards helping people to learn how to openly receive online tarot readings in a way that is helpful and healing, but it is also geared towards helping people to know what to look for in an online reader and understand how to identify imposters, because when I say that the online tarot reading space is so infiltrated with imposters, I mean that to the nth degree. Like they are literally everywhere. And to be honest with you, this is all information I wish I would have known when I started looking at online tarot readings because I'm obsessed. Like I love online readings. It's just there's a way to go about receiving that information in a way that is actually helpful for you. So that's what this video is all about. So sit back, tune in, grab a cup of coffee, and listen up because I have got so much to say. Please do check out our podcast, The Goddess Vibration, which you can find on Spotify, Amazon, and Apple. Give us a rating because we love ratings and we also love feedback. So please do check us out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who love tarot readings who could benefit from the information that we're about to discuss. So for those of you who don't know me, again, my name is Tiarra and I am a tarot reader, believe it or not. I do not, however, post my videos online. I don't post them on YouTube. I don't post them on TikTok. I reserve that for my online communities just because, that's my preference. But I do love online reading. And I have actually been reading tarot consistently for about 6 years at this point. And I'm in this place now where I feel like I really know how to extract the narrative and the lesson and the needed message from tarot. And honestly, I feel like that's how tarot should best be done. Again, a lot of this stuff is in my humble opinion. Please take what resonates, discard what doesn't. But tarot is about improvements, and it's about becoming better and evolving and expanding and taking advantage of the messages that are coming through so that you can evolve into the best version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, isn't that why we're all here? So when I talk about readings, what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking specifically about online tarot readings that are general. So these are people who might have really huge audiences and they might do like a pick a card reading for people, or they might do one general reading, or they might not even use tarot cards. Like I've seen people who do very effective readings without even needing to use tarot. So this could be applicable to all of those, but we are going to talk a lot specifically about tarot readings in general, just because that's my specialization, and how you can really take advantage of these readings so that they work for you and aren't just things that you want to hear that stroke your ego, because yes, that's a thing. So I think it's worth discussing how tarot readings work because I think there's a little bit of misunderstanding around tarot. And I think a lot of people just think that readers are these people who have special psychic gifts that were given to them at birth, and they just use this to use divination and extol these beautiful messages onto the planet. And yeah, there's a little bit of truth to that, but at the end of the day, tarot readers are reading energy. That is all they are doing. They're tapping into energetic collectives, or if you're getting your own personal reading from a reader, like maybe they're giving you a reading one to one online, or they're sitting in front of you, they're tapping into your specific frequency and they're reading the energy that is there at that specific time. Now, where it gets a little bit tricky with tarot is that a lot of the general readers will tap into collectives or wide groups of people who are sort of learning the same lessons, or maybe they have like similar astrological phenomenon going on, and they can read groups of people at once. And for the most part, if you're part of that energetic collective, the readings will resonate. Now, it just kind of depends on how the reader goes about it. Like I've also seen readers who will do what's called evergreen readings or evergreen. Basically, what that is they're creating the reading so that the reading is applicable at any time, regardless of who's stumbling upon the video or when. And there's a very specific way to do that. Usually it involves setting a specific intention and sort of leaving the energies more open. But again, for the most part, they are reading the current energies at that specific time. So please do keep that in mind when you're stumbling upon different readings. So out of the thousands of tarot readers online, on YouTube, on Vimeo, on TikTok, I, as an individual, has maybe found 4 readers who resonate with me and who have the ability to tap into my frequency. I don't know why it's only these specific 4, but everyone else never resonates for me. And that's not unusual. It's not unusual for you to find very specific readers who know how to tap into your collective or into your energetic frequency and not be able to find other readers that can do that. Not unusual, not weird. Actually, that's relatively normal. And I've been watching online tarot readers for the better part of 5 or 6 years. Again, over that entire span, maybe 2 on YouTube, maybe 2 on TikTok. That's just me. So, what should you really be looking for when it comes to an online tarot reader? Whether you're looking for general messages or pick a card messages or, love readings. You really want to find a reader who can tap into your frequency. I mentioned that earlier. Oftentimes, you know that that person is able to do that because you will watch that reading and it will literally feel like the person is speaking directly to you. It will feel like the person is sitting right in front of you and has the cards laid out and has deconstructed your entire life and is 100% spot on. That's how you know that the reader is tapped into your frequency and has found you and the messages needed for you at that time. Does the reading feel intimate? So I mentioned before, like it should feel like that person's sitting right in front of you and delivering a personalized reading. If it feels like that, if it feels like that person is talking directly to you, you know you've got yourself a keeper. Now, something else you really want to consider when it comes to online readers is how long have they been doing their online readings and are they offering readings on the side as well? So, for example, taking paying customers and offering readings that way, because the more that a reader reads, the better they are as a reader. And so it makes sense that when you're looking for someone online that you really take into consideration their experience. How long have they been doing readings? Have they had a spiritual awakening? How long was that? Have they used tarot to better themselves and their lives? What is their philosophy when it comes to tarot readings? Are they there to help you to evolve to the next phase of your life, to become the best version of yourself? Or are they just giving readings to tell you what you want to hear? Are they all about giving love messages so that you feel good about that toxic situation that you're in? These are the different things you want to be thinking about when it comes to finding a reader online. And these are the things that are going to be important when it comes to someone who resonates and can tap into your frequency. Now, something else I think is overlooked all the time when it comes to online tarot readers is, are they giving real practical wisdom? Because it's really easy for anyone to get online and record a reading that delivers messages that resonate. Like, if you're an intuitive person, you can do that. Anyone can learn tarot. It's not that difficult to learn how to read the cards and to deliver a message. The more difficult aspect of it is being able to tap into the wisdom that is being given to the channeler or given to the reader that is for the best and highest good of the person receiving the reading. That requires a little bit more skill. And to be honest with you, I don't see as much of that in some of these online readers. And the readers that I do follow, that I do resonate with, always do that. They always provide some type of wisdom or guidance. And that's really, really important to me. And the readers that I've watched on YouTube, those 2 readers that I actually do resonate with, have delivered messages that have changed my life. Like, given me profound revelations that made me look at myself, look at the patterns I was stuck in, reevaluate the way I think and the way I act and the way I operate. And at the end of the day, that is what a tarot reader should do for you. It should help you to escape the negative patterns or at least identify them, see them, observe them, understand and know how they're impacting you, because the goal is to change those patterns so that you can start living in a way that brings forth the life that you want. And who doesn't want that? So I've noticed that YouTube ratings are huge. They're so freaking popular. And especially the love readings or like the twin flame readings or the significant other readings, like they blow up. And I can't sit here and act like I wasn't part of that because I was obsessed. Like, especially when I first started reading tarot, I would watch love readings for hours and hours and hours, hours and hours and hours, hours and hours, hours, hours. And I loved it. And I ate up every bit of it. And it's interesting because, for a lot of us that are in these twin flame dynamics, a lot of that stuff is so confusing to navigate. Much of it doesn't make sense. You have no idea why your counterpart is doing what he's doing or why or what it means. And so we often lean on online tarot readings and general love readings to get a sense of what the heck is going on with our divine counterpart. And I know how frustrating it can be to deal with a divine counterpart. Like, it makes sense that so many people gravitate towards these, but we really need to be careful when it comes to these online love ratings, because our mind likes to tell us things about the messages that we are receiving, and that's when things get distorted. See, our minds want to say to us that, like, he's going to come back, or that everything's going to work out for the best and highest, and you just need to be patient. And he actually loves you and cares about you, even though all of his behavior is demonstrating the exact opposite. And I feel like it can create a trap for people that can do a couple of things. It can create false hope. It can also end up putting you in a situation where you are receiving information that you think resonates, but is actually just stuff that you want to hear. And this is where online readings can be very tricky. So what do I mean when I say things that you want to hear? So I'm talking about any type of reading that you stumble upon that gives you information that makes you feel good, or that like is exactly what you were wanting to hear. Maybe you had this thought or idea in your mind and you were like, I just need this somewhere to tell this to me so that I know that this is what's going on. And at the end of the day, it leaves you feeling like happy and rainbows and butterflies. And there's nothing wrong with that. But how can you take that information and use it to learn and evolve and become better? And that's where my sticking point comes with some of these readings, is that, again, tarot is meant to help you improve, to help you become a better person, to help you capture those needed lessons that perhaps you're not seeing. And, tarot can serve many different purposes. Again, I'm of the belief that if you want to take advantage of tarot and want to take advantage of readings, then it should be done in a way that is helpful to you. The thing about the online tarot readers, especially the big ones on YouTube, is that some of them have such massive followings and massive audiences, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's actually fantastic. Good for them. I respect the readers out there that know how to deliver messages to an audience that resonates and that people absolutely love. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that the likelihood that the message that they are sending out is applicable to the majority of the readers, the majority of the individuals who are receiving those readers, is so small. And again, readers often tap into collectives. Once the reading becomes more fluffy and rainbowy and about, all the things you want to hear and all the things that will make your day, and the hope and the rays and sunshine, it's going to resonate with more people because, again, what is going on is that this person is giving people things that they want to hear. And of course, that's going to resonate with a lot of people. People who want to hear what the person is telling them is going to love that. These people are going to love it. So please do practice discretion when it comes to these readers that have these massive audiences that are doing these very, very fluffy readings because, again, what are you extracting from that that's going to be applicable and helpful to what you are trying to achieve and the person that you are trying to become? So, how do you know the difference between a reading that resonates versus a reading that is simply just what you want to hear? Well, I talked about it a little bit earlier that a big part of it is, did you extract something that you can use to look at yourself perhaps, or look at a situation and look at it from a different perspective, from a new angle, from a place that helps you capture a specific lesson or become a better version of yourself in some way? So oftentimes you might stumble upon readers who don't sugarcoat. Now, I am of the belief that a reader really shouldn't be sugarcoating. I don't really sugarcoat in my reading. I'm going to give you the information that you need, and I'm going to do it in a way that's straightforward. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to beat around the bushes. I'm just going to give you what you need to master the lesson or overcome the block or get to that next phase in life that you're really trying to get to. Like, what purpose does giving you rainbows and butterflies and sunshine serve when it comes to that? And that's the kind of thing that you should be looking at when it comes to online readings is this giving me something that it can be useful for me, or is it just stroking my ego and making me feel good and telling me exactly what I want to hear? And you will know the difference. And please, please, please do not discard the trigger. If you come across a reading and you are triggered, it is because there is something there in the reading that you need to consider and look at in regards to the circumstance or the situation or the person that has information that's useful to you. You just gotta step back, step out of your ego, look at it from the perspective of the reader and try to see it for yourself. And 9 times out of 10, that is more than doable. I know we don't like to be triggered. I know being triggered sucks. No one wants to be triggered, but at the end of the day, the triggers show us to ourselves. And who doesn't want that? Okay, so maybe there are people who don't want that and don't care. Fine, to each their own. Let's say, for example, you are looking for a love reading and you're looking for someone who can deliver powerful love readings or powerful love messages. The same applies depending on your intention. So if you are intending to just be told what you want to hear, maybe you're looking for some reassurance when it comes to a situationship or a relationship or a divine counterpart, and you're just kind of scrolling through different readings looking for something that'll help you feel more confident about the situation. You can find that in just about any love reading. It's just going to come down to A, your intention, and B, does this individual have the ability to tap into your frequency? Now, I have been able to stumble upon readings that were like that were love readings, that did resonate and that did provide some type of wisdom or guidance to help me navigate the situation. But again, that's like maybe 1 or 2 readers that I've discovered. And at this point, I'm not as interested in the love readings as I used to be. So my suggestion to you would be to look for a reader who can do the love readings and can deliver the love messages, but also has that profound guidance and wisdom to help you make sense of the situation and help you learn any lessons or identify the blocks that are there that can help you manifest divine union. Because if the reading is just giving you a synopsis of what's going on and validating what you're thinking, what are you going to do with that? How is that going to help you navigate the situation and learn from it and identify the blocks and remove them to get to union? That's what I mean. So I mentioned earlier that pretty much anybody can pick up a deck and record a reading and post it online. Anyone can do that. Again, we all carry intuitive capabilities. Learning how to read tarot is not that difficult. What becomes harder is understanding how to craft a narrative that really gives a honest, in-depth view of the situation and the circumstance and provide the wisdom and guidance necessary to help people overcome the blocks that are there. So when it comes to identifying imposters in this space, I think there's a couple things that we should be keeping in mind. The first thing I think is really important. I mentioned it earlier. How long have they been doing readings? Are they paying? How long have they been doing readings? Do they have paying customers? Do they have reviews online? Can you go look at those? Now, I understand that not all tarot readers are going to have that. I don't have that because I don't post readings online. So I get that entirely. But there's a couple other things I think are good indicators as to whether or not this person is an actual reader and knows how to actually craft together a narrative and a dynamic and read the cards without bias. And that's exactly it. Reading the cards without bias. And that is also a skill that takes time, that takes practice, and that takes effort. The thing about tarot is that the readings that you receive and the way they come forth is really dependent upon the reader and their perceptual filter. So if you're working with someone who might carry biases around love or around intimacy or around men, and you're getting a love reading from that individual, there's a high likelihood that some of that bias is going to come forth in the reading. And it's really, really tricky to know when that's happening if you're also not a tarot reader. So at the end of the day, a lot of this is just going to be a matter of using your intuition and understanding how a good reading should feel to you. Because if it feels off, or if it feels yucky, or if it feels like this person is overly negative, or maybe there are some things that they are sharing forth in the reading that just don't sit well with you, those are red flags and you should consider those. Now, this one's a controversial one, and I know that this is a controversial one, so take what resonates and discard what doesn't. But does the reader read reversals? Now, everyone has their own preferences when it comes to reading tarot, and I personally do read reversals because the reversals are blockages and they are very indicative of some of the things that need to be worked on or worked through so that the reversal can eventually get to an upright, and they're not bad. I know that there are some in the space who view reversals as bad or as negative, and that is not what reversals are. So a good reader can understand that and can see a reversal and see it as an opportunity to provide wisdom or guidance that is helpful. Now, there are readers, and I have seen this before, who can take a card that comes out upright and intuit that the meaning is a reversal. That requires a lot of skill. I do not see that very often, but there are readers out there who can do that. And then you have the readers out there who don't read reversals at all. I personally do not understand that concept or philosophy. Again, I know that other people read the way that they want to read, but I'm more inclined to believe that if someone does not want to read the reversal, it's because they view it as a negative, and that's a bias that shouldn't be carried into a reading. The readings should all be viewed as opportunities for growth and expansion. And there shouldn't be anything negative about tarot or the way the cards come out. They're just all opportunities. Are you triggered? Triggers suck, but they're valuable. When I say are you triggered, I just mean, are you receiving information that is poking at your ego? That ego that keeps that perceptual filter around us of who we are and what we're out for and why we're here and everything that makes us who we are and how we perceive ourselves as an individual is what I mean when I say ego. And the crazy thing about the ego is that it will protect us and it will protect this persona that we have of ourselves. So when anything pushes it or taps it or questions it, it feels like a trigger. It feels like an attack. Sometimes we feel offended, but that's not what the trigger is doing. The trigger is agitating your ego because the ego, for some reason, is stopping you from seeing the bigger picture. And that's what I mean by triggered is that you feel disrupted, but it's not necessarily you that's feeling disrupted, it's your ego feeling disrupted. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Don't run from this. Do not run from this. Don't run. This is good. We want triggers. Triggers are good. So please do go into readings with the mindset of being open to receiving messages, even if they trigger. I will receive any message of guidance and support and wisdom for my best and highest good, even if it triggers me. You would be surprised some of the things you will learn from your triggers because I learned so much about myself from being triggered. And I think anyone can. So I hope this was really helpful in regards to understanding and learning how to navigate the online reading space. There's a lot of readings out there, a lot of people out there who are doing readings for multiple purposes and multiple different ways and multiple styles. And at the end of the day, it's really just about finding a reader that you resonate with, who can tap into your frequency, who can give wisdom and guidance that helps you to become a better person and that wants your best and highest good. That's all it really is at the end of the day. Now, for those of you who are interested, we do have an online spiritual community called the Higher Vibe Tribe located on Patreon. And there are 2 subscription levels, but the goal at the end of the day is to provide you with tools, tips, and wisdom to reach that next stage of your spiritual evolution so that you can manifest the life that you're seeking. We provide a lot of support for navigating shadow work because shadow work is so hard and it requires so much effort and energy, and you can't do that alone. We know that you can't do that alone, so we created this space to help people along the way. We also provide channeled messages and free general tarot readings from yours truly at the upper tier. So please do go check that out at www.patreon.com/vibehigh.